Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. I'm not going to do a ranking video this time. I think I've been doing too many of those at the moment, but what I thought I would do is I'll show a collection that I have on vinyl and maybe throw in a few CDs where certain albums I just don't have on vinyl. I've got them on CD. This was actually inspired by watching Ron Haggerty show his Rolling Stones collection today, so I thought I'll do that, but I'll pick somebody else, and it's going to be Mott The Hoople and Ian Hunter. So we'll start off with a few CDs, because the early Island years, first four Mott The Hoople albums which were on Island, they're very expensive. Even the reissues from the early 70s are still very expensive, and this is the first album, and this is Mott The Hoople. This is actually not a bad album. Ian Hunter himself, and this is very influenced by Bob Dylan. It's got Rock and Roll Queen on it, and it's got Laugh at Me, which is a very good song, which was a Sonny Bono song. But my favourite off this is what's it called again? Backsliding Fearlessly, and he does actually sound like Bob Dylan on it. This is pretty good. Their next album is Mad Shadows, and I don't have it on vinyl either. Again, this is more of the same. This has got Walking with a Mountain on it. My favourite track on this is actually No Wheels to Ride, which is a big epic sort of ballady type song by Ian Hunter, and yeah, good album. Still not their best, but not bad. I believe Beth of B-Side Records actually played a snippet of this album in one of our nighttime spins. The third album in this is Wildlife. This is more of a laid back album, and my favourite of this would be Original Mixed Up Kid. There's a cracking version of Keep On Knocking on this as well. The old rock and roll number, and Waterloo's a good song, but I think I prefer the previous album to this. Their next album for Island, which I do have on vinyl, is Brain Capers, and this is really good. Death May Be Your Santa Claus has got the most fantastic riff through it, brilliant. It also has Sweet Angeline, which they perform quite often throughout the whole of the Mott career. You know, after this was released, they played it during their glam years as well. The Journey is another good song, and The Moon Upstairs. Good album this. This is their last for Island, and this is when they decided to pack it in. A compilation. I showed this recently, but this is a compilation of their first four albums. I think I mentioned in the previous video that this could have been so much better if they had included various songs over others. But it's the same as any fan with any sort of best of album. You always have your preferences, and you'll always pick at things that shouldn't be on, this other one should have been on, and so forth. But it's still not a bad album. The first for CBS, and this is All the Young Dudes, and this is a very good album. Obviously David Bowie gave them the song. They originally offered them Suffragette City to stay together. They didn't want Suffragette City, so he gave them All the Young Dudes. That's the one they held out for, and they had a huge hit with it. Other great songs on this include a fantastic version of Sweet Jane, the Lou Reed song for the Velvet Underground, as well as One of the Boys, which is a great rocker. Sucker is another really strong song. Mama's Little Jewel is great as well. The is it Ready for Love? Ready for Love, the Mick Ralph song. I believe that the Bad Company recorded that. Obviously Mick Ralph's was part of Bad Company after he left Mott The Hoople, so I think he took that song with him. So that is All the Young Dudes, 1972. The next one is Mott, and this is possibly their best album. It's their glamiest as well. It has Honolulu Boogie and All the Way from Memphis on it. It's also got the beautiful I Wish I Was Your Mother, and Whiz Kid is a very good song, as is Hymn for the Dudes. Driving Sister is a really good rocker as well, that opens side too, so this is a must for any Mott The Hoople fans or any Ian Hunter fans. Next up is The Hoople from '74, and this features the golden age of rock and roll and Roll Away the Stone, as well as other great songs like Marionette, Born late '58, which I think was an Overend Watts song, and Alice and Crack Street Kids. Really strong album. And here's a question for you, and you can put comments in below. The girl on the cover here was also the cover girl for another early '70s classic album. Can you do you know the album? And if you do, stick the name in the comments below. I can't remember her name, but I know she was the cover star of a different album. So that's Mott The Hoople, from '74. Next up, Mott The Hoople Live. Not a bad album. Single album, works better as a CD because it's expanded, but you just get good standard versions. And again, Sweet Angelina's on this, the one I was telling you from Brain Capers. You also have All the Young Dudes, All the Way from Memphis, and a medley as well, which includes things like A Whole Lot of Shaking, Rock and Roll Queen, and Get Back. So it's not a bad live album. Next up, this is where you would start with Mott The Hoople for the CBS. This is the greatest hits, and this is available more or less anywhere. If you go into any second-hand record shop, they should have a copy of this. It has all the singles, All the Young Dudes, Honolulu Boogie, All the Way from Memphis, Roll Away the Stone, Golden Age of Rock and Roll, and their two final singles which were not on any albums, Foxy Foxy and Saturday's Gigs. And Saturday's Gigs is the only single where Mick Ronson was an official member of the band. He only got on one song and then they broke up. So this was one of the very first Mott The Hoople albums I got. It's another compilation. It's a Pickwick from the early 80s, and it's not bad. It's got the singles on, some of the singles, and a few of the better LP tracks. It's a Pickwick album. It was $1.99, so I bought it. Ian Hunter's first album from '75, and this is one of his best. Maybe it could be his best, possibly a second. It has a hit single, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. It has a very glam influence, Who Do You Love, which is good. The Epic Boy, the beautiful 3,000 Miles From Here, and you get some really good rockers. Like, I get so excited. It's a really strong album. I really do like this. So this is Ian Hunter's from '75, the self-titled album. This is possibly my favourite, and this is All American Alien Boy from '76. And I never actually liked this at all at the start when I first heard this. It's a real grower. Letter to Britannia from the Union Jack is awesome, as is the All American Alien Boy, which has got a real soul feel to it. Irene Wild's a great song. God, You Nearly Did Me In, Rape, all wonderful songs. It is quite laid back and it's not as rocky, but it's an excellent listen. So from '76, All American Alien Boy. From I think it's '77 actually. And this is Overnight Angels, and this one actually gets slated because the production's pretty poor on it. But there's some really good songs on this, like Golden Opportunity. What's the two that I like? The Justice of the Peace is very good. And there's another one here, Wild and Free. It's not bad, but again, it's very tinny in production, it's very trebly, and that's what lets this one down. You had a little bit of a resurgence in '79 with this one, and this is You're Never Alone with a Schizophrenic, or a Schizophrenic, I can never say which one it is. And this is on the Chrysalis label. It's first for the Chrysalis label, and this is really polished. It's got Just Another Night, Wild East, Cleveland Rocks. Now Cleveland Rocks was initially a single in '77 called England Rocks, but it works much better as Cleveland Rocks. Life After Death, Bastard, Standing on the Light. It's a really strong album. It is one of his best, but is maybe a little too polished in sound. So this is your Never Alone with Schizophrenic. Next up came a double live album. Mick Ronson plays on this. Just got a good selection of Mott The Hoople and Ian Hunter solo material. Nothing exceptional on it, it's just not a bad song. It actually does feature Slaughter on 10th Avenue, the Mick Ronson single, so it's good to have that as well. So this is Ian Hunter, Welcome to the Club live. 81, he releases Short Back and Sides. He gets his hair cut. This starts off so well with Central Park and West and Liza Likes Rock and Roll, but then it more or less falls flat in its face. The only other song I actually quite like on this is Theatre of the Absurd, which is yeah, third song on side 2, which is quite a reggae type number. Mick Jones of the Clash plays on this, but it's not a great album. It starts off really well but falls very, very quickly. So that's Short Back and Sides. Next up is All the Good Ones Are Taken from 1983. It's got a few good songs on it, like That Girl's Rock and Roll and the title track. Every Step of the Way is also a good song, which was covered by the Monkees for their Pull It album from a couple of years later. But it is quite dated, like Captain Boyd in the Video Jets is a very dated type song. Again, it's not bad, it's 83, but mid-table at Ian Hunter for me. Compilation, Shades of Ian Hunter, which again is compilation of Mott The Hoople and Ian Hunter solo material, and you do get what is it? It's actually quite a good one. You get the England Rocks song on this, so you do. And whenever you have Wild and Free and Justice of the Peace from Overnight Angels, they really do blend into each other, which sounds better on this than it does on the actual album. So it's a good double album. It's a very good starter if you just want an overview of Ian Hunter and Mott The Hoople up to 1977. Okay, and then in 1989, Why You Iorta, I could never say that. Well, it's Ian Hunter, Mick Ronson album. It's really an Ian Hunter album because he does the vocals and everything, and this is really good. American Music's a fantastic song. Women's Intuition is really strong as well. Big Time is a really good wee rockabilly number. But this CD is even better because it includes the song How Much More Can I Take, which is absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately it is not on the album. So that's Why You Iorta, Ian Hunter and Mick Ronson. So now we go into the CD era and we have Dirty Laundry. It's okay, not bad, couple of decent songs on this, like My Revolution and Red Letter Day, but generally speaking, mediocre. The Artful Dodger, which this actually is a CDR, it's not an actual real CD because it's always so expensive, but I managed to download it and I made a cover myself. There's some good songs on this, like Michael Picasso is the most famous one, which is his tribute to Mick Ronson after he passed. Walk on Water, which is a bit big country-ish, and Now's the Time is quite good as well, and 23A Swan Hill. This is a good album. This is one of his better later albums. It's from 1996. This is regarded as his big comeback album. This is Rant from 2002, and again this has got some really good tracks on it, like Soap and Water's fantastic. Knees of My Heart is a really, really strong song. What else is there on this? Washes Away is quite a good song as well. Generally speaking, it's not bad. Dead Man Walking is another good one. So this was very critically acclaimed. I enjoy this good album. Then comes Shrunken Heads. This has the fantastic When the World Was Round, and there's a video on YouTube for it. It's a very cheaply made one, but it's a wonderful song. It also has Words Big Mouth, which is good. Where's the other one? There's another. I Am What I Hated When I Was Young is also very good. It's like a rock and roll sort of rockabilly type number as well. Again, from 2007, this is a good album. Three more, and we have Man Overboard. I think this is 2010 or so. The Great Escape and Arms and Legs are good songs on this, but generally speaking the quality's going down a little bit. Man Overboard itself is quite a good album, but I think really by this time I was starting to lose interest. Okay, it's alright, it's not bad, but no, it's not as good as the previous three albums, and you could see the slide a little bit. And around this time he started reforming Cockney Rebel, sorry, he started reforming Mott The Hoople. So this is Man Overboard. I did buy the next one, When I'm President, and I wasn't that impressed. Comfortable Flying Scotsman's not bad, and When I'm President's not bad, but I find the rest of it dismissible. And then his last one, Ian Hunter and the Rant Band, Fingers Crossed, and this again is quite, it's alright, it's dismissible as well slightly. The songs don't sort of reach out and grab you. It does have the tribute to David Bowie. This was released in 2016, not long after his death, maybe about 6 months or so, called Dandy, and I don't like it. That's When the Trouble Starts wasn't a bad song. Ghost's not a bad song. It's alright, but again I must say I was sort of losing interest. So that's my collection on vinyl, and where I don't have vinyl CD, I have other CDs as well of the vinyl albums, but of Mott The Hoople and Ian Hunter, and I hope you enjoy that. Okay, that's me for now. All the best. Bye bye.